Hey guys, welcome to Chapter 5. In this section we're going to be talking about scaffolding, and we haven't talked about this yet because I've pretty much had you learn how to actually create a controller, a model, a view all separately manually. But you can also use a feature called scaffolding, which you can run a command and it'll create four basic things. It'll create the controller, it'll create the model, it'll create a couple of views, and it'll also create a database migration, which will in turn create the table. Now I want to use scaffolding just to show you how it works. I want to use it on our categories. Now up to this point we already have a categories controller, a model, and I think we even have category views, but I'm going to actually delete all that so I can show you how you would create a categories resource by scaffolding. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to open up the project in the C drive in the sites folder, my Ruby blog, and if we go to app and we go to controllers, you can see we already have a categories controller, and I'm going to actually get rid of that. I'm going to create a folder on my desktop just in case we need some of this stuff. So I'm going to actually move it here. So now we have no categories controller. If I go in the models, get rid of the category model. I want it so we only have our post resource. Views, you can see we have edit, index, new, and show. I'm going to actually just take that entire folder out and go in your DB folder, migrate, and I'm even going to get rid of the migration file. So as of now we have nothing to do with our categories on our site, on our application. So I'm just going to minimize that. I'm going to close that, and now let's open up a prompt. And let's go to the C drive sites folder and then to my Ruby blog. Okay, now scaffolding works. It has a generator, much like control. When you generate a controller or model, same idea. And after we run it, it will create all those things we just deleted, and it should show us exactly what it creates. So we want to do Rails G for generate, and scaffold, two F's I believe, and we're going to create category. Now this is very important that you keep it singular when you're scaffolding, so don't put categories, you want just category. And then much like when we set up the model, we need to tell it what fields we want in the database, and we just want a name field, because if you remember, when you create any database tables in Rails, it automatically gives you an ID and a create date and an update date. So that gives you those three fields. So aside from that, all we want for categories is the name. Okay, so let's run this. Alright, so the test. I guess we left the test, the categories controller test in our structure, so it's just asking if we want to overwrite, so just Y. And it's also asking if we want to overwrite. I guess we already have the categories JavaScript and CSS files, so we'll just say yes for that. Alright, so it created a bunch of stuff for us. It created all these views, which we did have that we deleted. But I just did this just to show you. I wouldn't recommend using scaffolding all the time, because it does create these views, but it also creates some code for you that might not be optimal. You might not want the code. You might want to use different stuff. So I don't usually use scaffolding, but if you're learning Rails, it's a key component that you should understand. So if we go back to our structure and we go into app controllers, it created our categories controller. I actually want to click on that and show you. This is all code that Scaffolding created for us. We have our index. It basically is taking all the categories that are in the table, which we don't have right now, but it sets up all this code for us. To show, it'll find the ID from the URL. So I mean, it creates a lot of stuff for us. I actually don't want to use all this. So I think I'm going to change. I'm just going to get rid of it. Well, actually, I should show you in the browser first what it actually creates for us. So let's open up. Let's start up our Rails server. Wait, was this done? Yeah. All right. So let's start our Rails server. All right, and open up a browser. Alright, so here's our app, and we can see, just to make sure our posts are still intact, we have our posts. And it even created CSS for us. See, this wasn't, these links were blue before, so it creates a lot of stuff automatically. If we go to categories, these are actually, it lists the categories. It actually held the database rows that we inserted before, the news, tutorials, programming. So it created this page for us, and we can click show to see. I mean, all we have is a name field, so this isn't very useful, but it'll show us the single categories, and it created an edit page, an edit link. We can change the name. If we go back, and we can also delete with the destroy. So it set up all this code for us. This link here with a new category basically does the same stuff that we already created manually for the posts resource. So you can see, I mean, it's an awesome way to just get something up and running. You know, if you're in a hurry or you just want something to show, scaffolding can work really well. But if you're gonna be doing a lot of customization to your code, then scaffolding probably isn't the best choice for you. Alright, so we have that. So what I want to do now is actually go back to how our files were before we ran the scaffolding. So if we go into our project folder, and first of all, let's open the categories controller. Now all this code here was created when we ran the scaffolding, and it has all of our actions: show, new, create, update, and destroy. Now we're going to be using something called Active Admin, okay? And Active Admin is going to allow us to create posts, update posts and categories, delete posts and categories. So we don't want these views. We don't want this here. We don't need this. So, and it's important that we get rid of this, because how the app is now, this is just free to anyone to go to this URL and edit categories, and we definitely don't want that. So one option would be to make these pages, to put some access control so that you need to log in and edit this page. But I prefer to use Active Admin because it gives us a really nice administration layout as opposed to just this form. So we're going to get rid of that. I do want to keep this page. I do want a list of categories. So if we go into the controller, we'll be using the index and the show actions. So right now I'm just going to get rid of all the rest of them, the new, the edit, and all the rest of them. And let me just make sure we have the right amount of ends, so that end. Alright, so that looks good. Let's save that. So if we go to the categories page and reload, it should still be there. But if we go to edit, that's not going to work. show will work, and index. So I mean, I'm not too worried about what is here right now. I just want to get back to where we were before scaffolding. So let's go into the models and go to the category model. And here we just want our attribute, and we have the name field. Remember the ID and then the 2 dates, created and update. Those fields are automatically generated. The only one we need here is name. And we also want our association, which has many, and that's to the post table. That means that a category can have many posts. So save that. And if we go to the views folder, categories. Now for the edit and the new, we don't want these because we're going to be using ActiveAdmin, so we don't want these new and edit pages. So I'm just going to delete those. Alright. And I guess we should delete the the edit and destroy links. So if we go back to our views, categories, index, we can get rid of that show and that edit and destroy. Get rid of those table rows. Save, and then if we reload, we just have the, we also don't want that link, so let's get rid of that too. And we'll be modifying this. This doesn't really matter right now. Alright. So it looks like we're back where we were. Let's just make sure the post is working. Alright, so here we also want to get rid of edit, post, and delete because we'll be doing that through ActiveAdmin. So if we go to the post view and we want to get rid of edit and new. And the reason that I kept this in the first place and I added these links was I just wanted to show you how to do that. Because you don't need to use ActiveAdmin or any kind of admin interface. So that's why I did that. So if we open up index, we can get rid of the add new link. Okay, save that. Now if we go to show, this is the post show. We want to get rid of both links, the edit and the delete. Okay. And we should actually put in we should actually put in what the category name. So let's save that and reload this. This is the show. If we reload, we don't have those links anymore, but I want to put the category name at the bottom as well. And Rails makes it very easy to do that. If you wanted to show the category and we were using a different language in the same situation, you would most likely need to add some SQL and do some table joins and then get the ID and then get the name of the category. But Rails makes it very easy. If you just go into your show.html file, and all we need to do is open up some tags, and we can actually just take the post instance variable and tag onto it category and then name, and close the tags up and save it. And if we reload, it gives us the news category. So very easy. We probably just want to add some text to it just to let the user know what that means. So we can just do this and save, and now it just tells us the category that that post is in. So now I just want to have a link to go back to the main blog role. So if we go back into our show.html.erb, let's just put this in a paragraph tag, the category name, and then have another paragraph tag, and here I just want to put we want to open some tags, and we just want to do link to, and we'll have it just say back, and that will go to the post path. Oh, I'm sorry, this should be a comma. And if we save that and reload, now we have a back button, back link, which takes us to the main page. So yeah, that's looking pretty good. Like I said, we're going to be using ActiveAdmin, so let's just get rid of these edit and new views. We don't want people to be able to access these pages and mess with the website, so let's get rid of those. So we should only have index and show, and if we go into our categories, index and show, we don't need this form. Okay. Alright, so that looks good. In the next section, what I want to do is I want to display, I want to be able to click on this category, news, and have it display all the posts from that news category. So we'll be dealing with more associations, because I'm not going to do that in this video. It'll be too long. So yeah, so that's it for this, and I will see you in the next video.